Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new horror anthology film, Lilith. And this is from director Alexander T. Huang, and he wrote it along with 3 other people. And putting this film together focuses on the demon Lilith, who punishes men for their indiscretions against women. This is a figure of Jewish mythology and is incorporated into this film, and calling it an anthology, like, it feels like this is a little too interconnected for it to really feel like an anthology, which it's odd because there's a couple of sequences that are just like outside of the realm of the main story, but a lot of it's interconnected. And it really starts with this young woman who's dating her teacher, and she winds up getting pregnant, and things go sideways. Tragedy strikes, and that kind of kicks off the appearance of this demon to punish this teacher for the wrongdoings. And then throughout the film that you get some other of these sequences, which this film is very low budget. You can tell with like the production design and the camera work, and like there's an admirable attempt at scares in this film. Some of it doesn't come off as well because of the low budget and the constraints that they have here, but like from a technical standpoint and how it's like structured and how they're trying to set up the scares, I think they're pretty solid. The effects and like what the creature looks a little funny and a little too like low budget that it comes off looking a little silly. But in the end, like, this film does a solid job of trying to put some scares together. But the thing is, the story is a real hot mess because, yeah, it's an anthology, but there's no real flow between them. It feels like we're randomly jumping between all these stories. Like, a film like Ballad of Buster Scruggs, it's very clear the anthology and how it's all put together. There's very distinct, here we're in a different thing. Here it's just like cut to the next scene like in a film, and you just realize, oh, I'm not in the same story anymore. And then you're kind of confused. And there's definitely some grotesque and brutal moments in this film. It really leans into that. But what really took me out of the film a lot is like most of the acting is not great. And it's really shaky and not well done. And a lot of the actors stick out like sore thumbs. And it's unfortunate because they're really attempting to do something here that is legitimately scary, has an interesting concept, and could work in theory and in practice, but like the acting really stands out. But in terms of like Vernon Wells from like The Road Warrior pops up in this, and like I enjoyed him in the film. I thought he worked, and his particular sequence was extra creepy. And in the end, I didn't really connect with many of the characters because they were played so poorly that like I can't connect with what they're trying to say or what they're trying to portray in terms of feeling, and I don't feel with them. And in the end of the film, I'm just kind of like, okay, this was kind of just a string of attempts at scares and didn't really come together to amount to much. And obviously it's very blunt in what it's trying to say, which it's a good message of like you shouldn't treat women badly, but they do it in the least it's extremely blunt. It's extremely on the head. You just have like giant sledgehammer swinging in. There's no nuance or subtlety to it. So I feel like this film turns out to be some okay scares, but a little hard to sit through because the acting and some of the writing is really that bad. And there's not a whole lot that went into the actual budget here, which isn't necessarily their fault. It just feels like it didn't come off as effectively as it could have. But those are my thoughts on Lilith. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.